Hello parents, I'm going to do a quick video on the Jamf Parent app, which you can use at home to provide restrictions on your students' devices. So I am going to show you how to get it set up. The first part I kind of have to film like this to show you my personal device and a student iPad. So here I have a student iPad. This is a generic one, so it doesn't have a student name on it. It's just one of our loaners. So the first thing you're going to do is look for this self-service app right here on the bottom is what it looks like. And when you open up the self-service app, you should see on the very top here a little QR code. So you're going to tap on that. You do have to make sure that the device is on an internet connection in order for this to work. And then you are going to download on your own phone or mobile device the Jamf Parent app. So I'm just going to open up this app right here. You notice it already has my daughter because I do have a Pinewood student myself, and I've already set her up. But I'm going to hit this Add Child button here, and then I'm going to hit Scan QR code. And then I'm going to point it at the other QR code, and I'm going to hit Confirm on the bottom, and it will find that iPad and bring it up. So it's this one right here that says iPad. And the reason it doesn't have a name is because this is a loaner, so it does not have a name. If this was assigned to your child, it would automatically populate your child's information. So that's how you connect the two devices. You can connect these with multiple parents, but if one of them changes the setting, it will override the other one. Okay, so now I'm going to switch and do a little bit of screen capture interface stuff and show you how to use it. Okay, everybody, so I'm here now in Jamf Parent, and I'm going to show you how to use some of the settings in this app. I do want to point out a couple things. You cannot set this up initially during school hours. If you are doing that for some reason during school hours, the system will not let you do an initial connection to the device, but you can adjust the settings during that time. So I'm going to tap on iPad here for the one that I just configured. And we also don't have everything set up on this or allowed through our service. We basically have everything on the left tab that says Allowed Apps, which gives you a great deal of control anyways. So you can shut off categories here. So if you wanted to disable all of these categories, which probably shouldn't have much impact on lower campus anyway, because we don't allow any app installs on lower or middle campus, so turning these off wouldn't really impact much by way of our apps unless any of them are classified as gaming. But if you have an upper campus student, these will disable features on apps that they've downloaded themselves. And then if you tap on Restrict Device Functionality, here's where you can go a little bit more in the weeds. So shutting off Safari or Mail or Messages or any of these other native ones that are on here. I believe the iTunes Store is already not on devices. Same thing with news and same thing with podcasts. So these are just kind of going to be irrelevant for those. So if you wanted to fully lock down the whole thing, then you would select all of those and you would hit Done. And immediately you should see these settings hit on your student's device. So if you were to disable all of these plus these ones, you would have nothing on their device other than native apps that we've pushed out for learning purposes. So they might still have like IXL and certain other ones, but other than that, there will be no useful functionality of the device during the entire off hours. Once the iPad comes back to campus, and we recognize that it is during school hours on campus, all of your settings will be overridden and ours will take hold and those things will lock back up. And that's the reason why this is the app that we prefer for you to manage your students' devices. And that's pretty much it. Hello parents, I'm here to talk to you about screen time now. Screen time is Apple's native tool you can use on your own or on the student devices. we recommend, especially for K-6, that you try to use Jamf Parent. But if Jamf Parent does not give you all of the controls you need, you may enable some items on screen time. There are a few caveats, and the one reason screen time sometimes gets in the way is that if you set a time limit on something such as web browsing or on apps that we might use in the classroom, the student might come into campus and hit that time limit while they're at school, and then it's a process for us to go erase it and reset it. We can do that on the back end, but it is a little bit time consuming. So I'll show you where to be cautious with screen time, but for now, let's just walk through setting it up. So to hit turn on screen time, you just say turn on screen time, and then you're going to say this is my child's iPad, and then you could put in their age. But I do want to point out that a number of these content filters are already present on the devices working in the background. Enabling them doesn't actually hurt, just another layer of filters, but a number of these things actually aren't even relevant because they're already happening. So, but we're going to turn them on anyway, turn on restrictions. Okay, this is the most important setting. This is downtime or time away from screens when you want the device to be completely inoperable for your students. So perhaps that time is 8 p.m. until 7:30 a.m. So you want this thing to be locked down solid, useless to them between that time. Then you can set that up. And you can make that whatever you'd like. Okay? All right. Now, set app and website limit. So this is the one where you have to be a little bit finicky because it might cause problems for us at school, depending on what you are actually limiting. So the main thing that you want to avoid is you want to avoid, let's see, we go to other here. I guess it's not letting me do anything in other here. Okay, so for certain categories, this might present a problem. So I would prefer it if you went in instead of all apps and categories, because that would enable education, that you simply check off categories that are not educational apps. Because what sometimes happens is when they come into school, and you've enabled this for, say, all categories, such as education, they will hit a time limit when they are at school for an app that we need them to use. If that makes sense. So they might be in class trying to use an educational app, and it hits your screen time limit, and then we have issues, and we have to go and figure out how to disable it. Okay, so this, if you wanted them at home to only have an hour of iPad time, outside of the windows where you said downtime, then you would set that up. And what this would do is this would mean that they only get 1 hour of using any of the apps that you have selected. So I'm going to say set app limit. And now it's going to ask for a passcode. I'm just doing 1, 2, 3, 4 because I want to remember it. And this is just an example for all of you. You will need to put in your own personal Apple ID here in order to get a recovery email about a forgotten screen time passcode. So if you set this up, but then you need to disable it, and you've forgotten it, and you don't have this, then we have problems. But I am going to cancel and not do this. Hopefully I don't forget 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. So screen time's all set up. It should populate any second. There we go. And then also within here, you can go and you can change some of the details here if you'd like to switch them back in here, and it actually gives you a little bit more detailed specifics here to work from. I think, let's see, you can edit the list and change certain things, and I think if you go into the weeds here on certain apps, it will tell you exactly the ones that you want to limit. So the initial setup did not give us this. So if you want to be more respectful for the teachers, go in there and make sure you don't select any of the ones that you know are educational purposes, because those are the ones that would present problems for us if they get on school campus and they hit those limits. So that's it. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and we're more than happy to help you with any of this for your students' devices.